Hello, thanks for joining the virtual story time with the Loveland Public Library, read by me, Miss Andrea. So we're doing things a little bit special for the next few weeks for Black History Month to honor and celebrate it. And we are reading books that have all won the Coretta Scott King Award for illustrations. Then we are also having crafts that go along with each title. So each week there will be 4 different, like a new craft to go along with the book. So we are reading the book this week, Radiant Child. And it's the story of young artist Jean-Michel Basquiat, and it's written by Javaka Steptoe. Are any of you artists? Do you like to draw or paint? So, somewhere in Brooklyn, between hearts that thump, double dutch, and hopscotch, and salty mouths that slurp sweet ice, a little boy dreams of becoming a famous artist. In his house, you can tell a serious artist dwells, as he sits at a table with pencils scattered everywhere. Jean-Michel draws from morning until night with a serious face amid a storm of papers. He refuses to sleep until he has created a masterpiece. At night, images enchant Jean-Michel's mind, and he wakes from his dreams to add one more line. His drawings are not neat or clean, nor does he color inside the lines. They are sloppy, ugly, and sometimes weird, but somehow still beautiful. His art comes from his mother, Matilde, a Puerto Rican woman who designs and sews, cooks and cleans, and makes the house look like a stylish magazine. But most important, she lies on the floor and draws with Jean-Michel on his father's old work papers. From her, he learns that art is not only in the poetry books she reads to him or in the theaters and museums they visit. Art is in the street games of little children, in our style and the words that we speak. It is how the messy patchwork of the city creates new meaning for ordinary things. While visiting the museum, they look at his favorite works of art. Reading the story behind each artist, reading the story behind each work, this is how Jean-Michel learns what it means to be a famous artist. So Jean-Michel's most famous or favorite painting was by another famous artist named Picasso. Back at home, he creates art on the floor as his father, Gerard, plays jazz records. Mama Matilde cooks arroz con pollo and calls Jean-Michel mi amor. The energy and life of the city can be felt in each line of his drawings. As time goes by, Jean-Michel learns that art has a healing power. After a car accident, he is scared and confused. Matilde gives him a book to calm his fears. It is filled with pictures of bones, skulls, and other body parts. And Jean-Michel draws from it until he knows it all by heart, and he is no longer afraid. So he learns all about how the body works, so he's no longer afraid of how he can heal from his car accident. Back at home, Jean-Michel's body heals, but his heart breaks. His mother's mind is not well, and the family breaks. She no longer lies on the floor and draws with Jean-Michel, but sits by the window singing only to birds. Jean-Michel is confused and filled with a terrible blues when Matilde can no longer live with them at home. He tries drawing the terrible out of his blues, but things are not the same. As Jean-Michel grows older, he visits his mother when he can, always bringing his artwork to show, telling her that one day it will be in a museum when I am a famous artist. A teenager now, Jean-Michel decides, Papa, I will be a very, very famous person one day. with a sly look, with a twinkle in his eye. Jean-Michel leaves Brooklyn for New York City, the Lower East Side, a concrete jungle where only the tough survive. During the day, dressed in a green jumpsuit splattered with paint, Jean-Michel stays with friends, sleeping on couches and floors, leaving a barrage of collages and poem-filled papers everywhere he goes. At night, Jean-Michel spray paints the walls downtown with poems and drawings that catch the eye of artists, gallery goers, and passersby. Under his art, he signs the name Samo instead of Jean-Michel. Everyone wants to know, who is Samo? Samo moves from street corners to art gallery walls with powerful color composition and line, collaging and painting on anything he can find. His art is still not neat or clean and definitely not inside the lines, but somehow still beautiful. With his magical charm, Jean-Michel draws a crowd, but when it's time to work, he prefers to be alone with the radio and TV on full blast. Now, in expensive suits splattered with paint, he flips through stacks of magazines and open books and paints into the night and sometimes for days at a time, while sounds and images jump in his head. Jean-Michel, an artist among artists, never doubts one line, creating from a soundtrack that is all his own. People describe him as radiant, wild, a genius child, but in his heart he is king, so he draws crowns for himself and others he admires. A grown man now, with the art world in his hands, Jean-Michel still visits his mother when he can. And at his most important shows, above all the critics, fans, and artists he admires, the place of honor is his mother's, a queen on a throne. He is now a famous artist. The end. So Radiant Child is a book about a little boy who wanted to make art. And his art looked so different from anything else anyone had ever seen. And it has an energy. And he liked to use a few different types of images in his art. So if you come to the library and get a bag while supplies last, there will be some sheets of paper. He liked to use bright colors. So there's a bright fluorescent green here one, and then a white piece of paper if you would prefer to draw on the white one. And a paintbrush. There you go, a paintbrush and letters. So because he likes to use words in his painting also. So you can do a painting kind of like Basquiat's. So you can use maybe some crowns or some bones in your painting if you want to try and imitate the style that he did. Or you can just get creative on your own and find your own voice and your own art. So this was Miss Andrea's trying to imitate Basquiat. Obviously, I'm no artist. But you can do whatever you would like to find the own artist within you. So thank you very much, and happy Black History Month.